Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be carrying on with our conversations around health inequality, and today we're going to be looking at sources of evidence with regards to health inequality. So we're going to be evaluating sources of evidence. We're going to be looking at different graphs that show us trends around mortality and morbidity rates in the UK. So we're going to do that by learning how to evaluate data. We're going to be able to interpret graphs that depict trends in mortality and morbidity rates. We're going to be able to use our interpretation of that data to answer the question, why do we see health inequality within that given data? Okay, so this covers criteria 2.2 of your assessment criteria, which says to evaluate sources of evidence with regards to social class, gender, ethnicity, and age. Okay, so let's figure out what kinds of graphs do we use, especially in health, in public health, to depict trends in mortality and morbidity rates. So let's call this graph 1, graph 2, graph 3, graph 4. Do you know what these are? So you can pause the video at this point because I'm going to give the answer away in the next couple seconds. So pause the video and write out in the comment section if you know what these graphs are. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. This graph is called a bar chart. This graph is called a line graph or a line chart. This is very similar to that one, and the fact that you've got long bars there, but if you look at those bars, you notice that they are kind of close together. There's no space like there is there. So this is called a histogram, but it's an inverted histogram. And this is a pie chart, as most of you will know from pizzas and pies. Random, sorry about that. Okay, so there are so many more graphs that are used to show trends and data, but these tend to be the four most popular ones that you see in newspaper articles, Office of National Statistics, any kind of information giving kind of chart. These are the four popular ones. Okay, right. Couple of things you need to know when you are trying to interpret graph is to obviously figure out what type of graph it is. Is it a bar? Is it a histogram? Is it a line? Or is it a pie chart? Then what is it saying? You tend to find that out by the title. It'll tell you what the graph is about. The frequency will tell you that's the number of times something has occurred. The categories and the keys are also important things to note. One thing that's not on this list though is the source. Because this is an academic piece of work that you're doing, you want to make sure that your source is reliable. Okay, so something someone has made up on Facebook is not necessarily reliable. But if the Office of National Statistics say 50% of people have died from smoking related deaths, then you will believe them. That was made up, by the way. Okay, so when you've figured out what it's saying, what the title is, how many times it occurs, what the category and keys are, then you can start to ask the question, what does this mean? Can I see health inequalities here? Why does health inequality exist here? Okay, so this is a made up graph. So don't, if you live in East Park, don't start to think, oh gosh, is this what East Park looks like? So my title here tells me that this is the population in East Park, Wolverhampton. Okay, so it's the population density. My frequency is not specific. So what will happen is that you have numbers and then there'll usually be something written here Is it years? Is it percentage? Is it to the nearest thousand? Is it to the nearest hundred? So one could mean 1%. It could also mean 10%. It could mean 1 year. It could mean 1,000 people. So your frequency should be specified. Okay, so for the sake of this, let's call it percentage. Okay, my category tells me that there are British people, African people, Asian people, and Jamaican people that live in East Park, Wolverhampton. And my key tells me that there are men, women, and children. Men represent the brown bars, women represent the yellow bars, and children represent the grey bars. Okay. So looking at this, I can tell that there are more Jamaican men in comparison to British, African, and Asian. I can tell that there are the same amount of British, African, and Asian men. I can tell that overall African women are more than British, Asian, and Jamaican women. I can tell that the population density of Asian people and British people are the lowest in comparison to African and Jamaican. Okay, so I've just said what I've seen. Now the next question I need to ask myself is why? Why are there more African and Jamaican compared to Asian and British? Why are there more Jamaican men compared to the other three types of people? Why do we have more Jamaican children compared to Asian, African, and British? Okay, like I said, this is made up, but I want you to start getting the sense of how you're going to interpret your graphs for your assignment. You tell me what you see based on your title, your frequency, and your category, and your key. Tell me that the source is reputable, and then start to answer the question, is there health inequality here from what I can see? Can I explain why that exists? Okay. Okay, so let's look at an actual graph. Okay, what is the title here? Life expectancy at age 65 of constituent UK, yeah, countries in the years 2014 to 2016. So this is the average amount of years that the person will live after 65 years of age in England, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. And here you can see that your frequency is now on your, for those of you who remember your maths, this is now on your x-axis and not your y-axis. So don't think that, oh, because of that first one my frequency was here, frequency is always here. No, here we have our categories here. And the key tells me that the blue bar represents males and the yellow bars represent females. What can I see from this graph? I can see that life expectancy for women is more than men in all constituent countries. You can also see that Northern Ireland and Wales are pretty much neck and neck in their life expectancy for both men and women. And the lowest life expectancy happens to be in Scotland. So there's two questions I can ask myself here. Why is life expectancy higher for women compared to men? And why does Scotland have the lowest amount of years after 65? Why do they have the lowest life expectancy in comparison to Northern Ireland, Wales, and England? Okay. Can I see health inequalities here? Yes, I can see gender-related health inequality, and I can see geography-related health inequality. Scotland, in comparison to Wales, Northern Ireland, England, has more deprivation, has more poverty. So you can see both social class related health inequality and you can see location related health inequality. I can start going on to explain based on research why women tend to live longer than men and why poverty can lead to poorer health outcomes, which can lead to greater mortality rates. Okay, I hope that makes sense.